Welcome to another double feature for your entertainment purposes. Oh, I feel terrible. Sorry guys, I'm not going to make a very lengthy video here. It's been raining. As you guys know, Hurricane Nicole has come and it's hit through New York. It's not like it's really bad storms, but the humidity is really bad. I feel horrid. All here. So I'm not going to make this a very long video. At least I'm going to try not to, because I did a 34-minute video yesterday. And that was building into the storm. Anyway, what we got in this double feature. A good SmackDown and an okay Rampage. Let's do Rampage first. What did we get for Rampage? We got... how do I feel about Jungle Boy dealing with Christian and Luchasaurus? I'm worried about Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy's over, as people say he is. But at this point, I want to see Luchasaurus over. I am worried they're going to use Luchasaurus and Christian to get more of Jungle Boy over. And there's a problem for me personally. I'm sorry. I like Jungle Boy. I'm not saying I hate him. But what about Luchasaurus? I was hoping this would be a point for Luchasaurus to springboard. But now I'm kind of nervous that maybe it might not be. This might all be about Jungle Boy, and it feels like it. Because once we had that early segment in the beginning of the show, they opened with this. And Jungle Boy comes to the ring and he makes it very clear, you're pissed off because I messed up one match. You messed up my life. My friendship for 3 years with you, you big bastard Luchasaurus, and you messed me up too. So you know what? You guys have having the numbers against me all this time. Fine, I've been eating it. Now you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat some more. That's exactly what he was implying. He's been beaten by them and double teamed on them. He has not been able to get anything done, so he's gonna have it even worse. He wants a steel cage match at Full Gear. Is this going to be a good match? I'm not telling you it isn't. I'm telling you right now, we're probably going to have a very good match between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy with a little bit of Christian sprinkled in, because he's still going to be there. But this upsets me because Jungle Boy has had a huge amount of push for 2 to 2.25 years, guys. We have heard him being one of the pillars. He has been pushed and pushed and pushed again. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be pushed. Now, mind you, he's got flaws. He's been working on them. He's been talking. He did an in-ring segment. Normally, he doesn't like to talk. Now he's been talking, so he's improved. I'm glad. That makes him a better performer in the ring as a wrestler. But the problem here is this. What the hell is going on with Luchasaurus? What is going on with Luchasaurus? You got something in Luchasaurus. And you're doing nothing with him. Like Eddie Kingston, guys. Eddie Kingston should have been pushed when he was red hot. He could have gone after, guess what? The TNT title. He could have gone to the main title. They could have done something with him to make him substantial. And they've done nothing. People still like him, but they've let him get cold. And now Luchasaurus. I see Luchasaurus, I don't care if he's a heel or face. Push the guy. People want to boo him or want to cheer him. And now you're going to probably throw him under the bus for Jungle Boy to look great going up against a really big opponent that he's known for years. I'm not for that. I'm not saying Luchasaurus is one of the greatest wrestlers, but I am saying he's got something, and now you're doing this. I'm hoping it's not going to end the way I think it's going to end, where Luchasaurus is whoop, under the bus. I'm hoping it'll be something good. I'm just saying. Now, we get 2 AEW World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Tournament matches. The first one, we got Brian Cage versus Dante Martin. It wasn't much. Dante got his ass whooped. Now, I like Dante, but there was no way he was going to beat Brian Cage. So he got his butt kicked. Then we got a Roosh versus Bandito. Now, supposedly Bandito is part of the AEW roster, but where has he been for months? Well, I think it's been a month. I take that back. Not months, month. Since he had that match on the main roster versus Chris, he hasn't been seen. At least not on Dynamite or Rampage. That means he's been working Elevation. That means he's been working Dark. Which means what? The guy's got something, and you leave him on Dark and Elevation. I'm not saying that it's not important that he should be there, but since Dark and Elevation doesn't mean much other than developmental, what is he doing in developmental when he's already developed? I say that again. What the frick are they doing with Bandito? When he doesn't need to be in a developmental purpose, he should be on Rampage. He should be on Dynamite. But with such little space and no ROH, I'm just saying. He won due to the fact that Johnny Hungy, interfered due to the fact of what happened earlier that night. Now, Nia Rose. Oh, before I finish, do I believe he's going to have a feud with Roosh? I don't know. I don't know if John Silver is going to be the one who's going to be fighting Roosh, or would it be 10? I don't know. The way they did this, it looks like it's going to be John Silver, but I don't know. Now, Nia Rose goes against Sparks. Now, this wasn't about Sparks. Sparks was destroyed, just like Brian Cage destroyed Dante Martin. He annihilated him. This was about you know who. Miss Cargill came out, tried to whoop some ass to get her title, got nothing, and now we're going to have still that match at Full Gear with no stipulation. Guys, why is Jade Cargill having to fight to get her damn title back when there's no stipulation? We have Nia Rose who's still holding on to the title with security. If this was the reverse, it would be understandable. But we're talking about the champion who now has to fight against security to get to a person who stole the damn title, and that's a challenger for her title. And she hasn't put it up for grabs. What are we doing here? There's no stipulation stating that if Nia Rose wins, she gets the title. Because she doesn't have to put the damn title up. That's not Jade Cargill. She doesn't have to put the damn title up. They're just going to have a match. So what are we doing here? This is a backwards match. I don't care if JD likes this match. I don't care if just Alex or Solomonster or anyone likes this match. It's stupid. Nia Rose is not the champion. Jade Cargill is the champion. Nia Rose is still holding on to a stolen title with security. There's no stipulation that's going to say that she's going to get a match against Jade Cargill to have it legitimately. They're having a match at Full Gear, but that doesn't mean the match is for the damn title. So what are we doing? What does this mean? If Jade wins the match, does that mean she's just going to get a title back? So what does that... It's stupid. I'm moving on. The All-Atlantic title. Orange Cassidy versus Lee Johnson. Big Shotty. Hadn't seen him in a while. He just came back. Let me give it to you like this. Seeing him part of the factory, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do well being back with the factory instead of working with Art Anderson and Brock. I don't know. This is still a question. I just don't know. And we haven't even seen Brock on TV or Art yet. We haven't seen neither one of them on TV for a while unless they're still in Elevation Dark, which they probably are. It's just it just feels like they're missing something. He won. And that is a Orange Cassidy. But the next probably person is going to go up against is QT Marshall, I guess. Now, I have no problem Orange facing people. And the match was fine. But what are we getting here? I don't know. Now let's do SmackDown. I know I'm missing some stuff. I just don't want to go through all of this. We had several things that happened in SmackDown. I'm not going through all of this. Selena Vega is supposed to go up against B-Fab, but didn't happen. It was the Viking Raiders that came out with a Sarah Logan barefoot. Girl looked thick. Say it again. And she wasn't thin either. She is thicker. The girl thick. And she looks more violent than ever, which we have been seeing vignettes for several weeks now that the Viking Raiders were coming back. And it was obvious that it was Sarah Logan. She is married to one of the guys that I can't remember who. But she was going to be a part of the team. No problem. But now that they're back, the question is going to be, who are they going after? Are they going after Hit Row? Are they going after El Legado El Fantasma and Santos Escobar? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing here. Now, we get the 6-pack challenge for the women. Really? What? Really? Wouldn't it have been better to get them a gauntlet? We give them a 6-pack challenge. Doesn't that sound familiar, guys? A 6-pack challenge that Naomi and Sasha Banks walked out on. Now, maybe that's a hint to the fans that when Survivor Series comes around, the reason that we saw this was to remind us that Naomi and Sasha are coming back. A subtle hint. That could be. I don't know about anyone else. That is a possibility, but I don't think so. That's just lazy. I'm sorry. I'd rather have seen the women have a gauntlet than actually have this. To be honest, it wasn't a bad match. We got, how many women? We got 6 women. We had a Sonya Deville. We had a Raquel Rodriguez. We had a, well, I don't have to go through everybody. You know who it is. But I was surprised they chose Chelsea Blackheart. Really? Great. Someone you don't see in the main event. Someone you're going to see at Survivor Series that you normally don't see. Does it mean she's going to win? Probably not. But at least she's getting this moment, which she would have never gotten months ago. I'm fine with that. Now, did we enjoy seeing her get choked out by Shayna Baszler after the match is over? Yeah. But I was kind of surprised she didn't try to do a little dissension. And that is Chelsea saying, you're messing with me like this when you're just a lackey of a Ronda Rousey. I kind of wish she had done that. Messing with her and gave her a real reason to choke her, not just to try and protect Ronda. I would have liked to see that. But that's just me, guys. Tell me below. Now, we got the first and interesting match for the first World Cup. Now, this is supposed, well, not World Cup, but SmackDown World Cup. That whoever wins gets a cup and also gets a shot at the IC title. That's good. A nice tournament for a Gunther to be able to dig his teeth into. Now, what do we get here? We got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. Now, he was not dealing with that match directly when it came to Selena Vega and B-Fab. It was afterward. But here was the thing. You know Shinsuke Nakamura had to lose this match because they did announce. Yes, they did. They announced it. That the Great Muta and him are going to have a match in December. They didn't mention Pro Wrestling Noah. That would have been nice. Since this is not about New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is about Pro Wrestling Noah because that's where he is. But to see that they willing to mention it like that was a good start. Now, do I believe that Triple H will be willing to acknowledge Pro Wrestling Noah? No. Because they don't have anything going with Pro Wrestling Noah. But I do believe they have something going with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they're not going to mention that. So as far as I know, it is going to be done in Pro Wrestling Noah, that match. I don't think it's going to be in New Japan, but I could be wrong. You guys can tell me below. As far as I know, it is Pro Wrestling Noah. Match was fine, and Santos Escobar won. I'm not surprised. He had to win. Because no way Shinsuke was going to be going for the tournament if he's going to be dealing with the Great Muta. That's just it. Now, what else do we have here? Let me give it to you like this. You see LA Knight, you know it's going to be a great, great segment. But then when you see Bray Wyatt, you know that great segment's going out the window, and Bray Wyatt is going to be over more than it's going to be LA Knight. Even though, if I had to choose between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you, I love Bray Wyatt. I know he's doing great work, but that's my boy. I'm sorry. Eli Drake, LA Knight, is a great talent. And at this point, he's one I care about. Bray is going to be fine. But LA Knight needs to rise. He will make them money. And seeing that the wonderful Bray Wyatt was trying to say you want to be recognized, but I understand it. There's some darkness possibly in you, and this, that, and then as he's going through his bit, you see LA Knight act like LA Knight, and he says, look, I don't need your help. Why don't you go back to your playroom and stick those toys up wherever you like to be stuck, and stand on my face. And as he's speaking, head-butted. Done. That is when I realized LA Knight is screwed. Because there's no way on this green earth they're going to let LA Knight get over on Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry. Unless it's going to be part of a storyline that he descends into madness and you know who takes over him. That is the only way I see that LA Knight's going to have something out of this, because he's going to get his ass handed to him. I'm just saying. Finally, Legacy has been set. I don't know if that's the exact title, but let me give it to you like this. I was not fond of looking at this match. Wasn't because I was going to hate it. I just didn't want to see more of the Usos deal with the New Day, not because I was going to hate the match or it was going to be crap. It's because we've seen it so much. We don't have enough people to make the tag division mean something. It has always been stuck with the New Day and Usos. Usos and New Day. Look, New Day got 11 title reigns. Usos has 8. We need more people that makes the division mean something. Now, of course, the division's now being supposedly reconstructed. Look what happened with the Viking Raiders along with Sarah Logan. El Gato, El Fantasma, and anyone else that's being built up, I can understand. But I didn't want to see it because that was something I've seen before. They will give a great match, but I didn't want to see it. But I cannot deny how important this is, at least in this current time. Look, both these guys have set records. They've broken the Demolition title reign, okay? Demolition, as far as I remember, is the ones who held the titles the longest. And New Day broke that, 483 days. Now Usos have come up at 481. They had to do this. But then, here's the problem. Here's the problem that I kind of wished that it wasn't happening here, but they didn't have an option. Wouldn't it have been better to actually culminate this at Survivor Series? I'm just saying, this would have been better at Survivor Series, but since Survivor Series is several weeks off, there was no way they can do it within the time period before the New Day's title reign was going to be done. So they had to do it here. Great match. No way that I'm saying the match was bad. It was great. The best match of the night across both shows. This was the best. Yes, it was. But here's the thing. Now the Usos have won. And now the question is going to be who's next. Because they don't have that many people they got to face. Are we going to go through New Day again at Survivor Series? That's going to be a question. Will it be the Viking Raiders? Will it be Delgado El Fantasma. Will it be Hit Row? There's a lot of teams that need to go up against the Usos by the time we hit a Survivor Series. So that's going to be the question. Final thing. We get the Roman Reigns segment to be acknowledged. Here's the segment. He comes out. He's happy that the Usos won. I don't know what he was going to say about the Usos because he always was one that was acknowledged over his cousins. He said clearly, my cousins had to deal with me because I was always being acknowledged as one of the best. But now my cousins, they're gone here. And I think he wanted to say, and this is me, I think he truly wanted to say he was proud of his cousins and that he acknowledges both of them. I kind of had that feeling that he wanted to do that because they earned it. But they got stopped because the Brawling Brutes came out. And then Sheamus came out with a messed up mic. Mike was messing up. And Roman played right into it saying, you can't even talk, your damn mic ain't working. But they said, we're coming at you, which they did. And they started getting the butts kicked, and that's the Brawling Brutes, until a Drew McIntyre comes out who wants to get revenge on what happened with Solo. So, all of them come out, and now we have supposedly four members of the Brawling Brutes, which I think is long overdue. Let's be honest here. The Brawling Brutes have all been Europeans who have been known to be incredibly rough, tough, and crazy. And seeing that Drew McIntyre's joined, there's only one person left that really needs to join, which should join, but probably will not join because she's part of Damage Control. And that is, guess who? Nikki Cross should join the Brawling Brutes. So you'll have 4 men and 1 woman. The Brawling Brutes can all be Europeans because if you've never heard of it, the Empire, that happened years ago when it was with Drew, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett. They were part of the Empire back in Europe. I would like to see this. Bring Sheamus in. Bring Drew in. Now you got Holland and you got Pete Dunne. And if you can bring in Nikki Cross later, that would make the ensemble make sense. A faction of people who are known to be nuts, total brawlers that will work. Don't know what he was going to say about the Usos, but that was my thought. But that's just me. And I hope you enjoy this double feature of SmackDown and Rampage. Please give me a comment below. I will see if I can see Hard Times 3 tomorrow and do a review of it. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. Hopefully you'll like it. Peace.